Good afternoon. Welcome to the June 2025 meeting of the Town of Riverhead Industrial Development Agency. I'll note that we have a quorum present, as well as having our chairman available on Zoom. First thing on the agenda is I'd like a consideration of the proposed agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll give a motion.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can we have a Zoom picture feed?
Justin?
You should have it. Okay.
And Terrence, can you hear us? Also,
I can hear you.
Also,
Can't see
by,
you, but I can
by
hear
virtual attendance is our counsel,
Yeah.
Terrence Walsh from Nixon Peabody.
Oh, there we go. Gosh, you guys look good.
Right back at you.
All right. Next, we have the consideration of the minutes for March 24th, 2025. Can I have a motion?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And next on the agenda, we have correspondence. Tracy?
So we received numerous foils over the past month. I'm just looking for my spreadsheet to run down. It was just here. Just give me a minute. Is it in your folder? It's an Excel spreadsheet.
I don't see it. No, ma'am.
It's here. Bear with me.
We can come back to it.
So since March 5th, $18 foils, mostly from, do you want me to name who they're from? Seems to be foiling a lot of information relative to the town square projects, Atlantis, Joe Petroselli, the IDA's authority and its authority, the act of its authority, some dating back 10 years worth of information. These were quite extensive foils. They needed to take a lot of time and effort away from the office. Also relative to our old lease at 542, because Petroselli owned the building, a lot on Joe Petroselli, and
Is this an unusual amount of foils for
at this
us?
time of year, yes, but it's not unusual during an election year to be, and quite frankly, some of these foils had copied of political candidates that were running. So that's,
Right,
it literally took almost a month for me to finish these.
And as a one-person office, it's difficult to conduct other business while you're doing the foils, correct?
Literally, it stops me, yes.
Okay, well, obviously, working on current business is as important as doing the foils. So in the event that they continue to be a problem, we should discuss it further, and if we need some additional time on foils, I know you have that right under the law to request it.
Yes, thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have a presentation that we're going to do, but I think we're going to come back to that presentation, finish some other items on the agenda first. So do we have a treasurer's report?
Yes, we have two, actually. Close of business April, close of business May. For April, cash in the checking account at M&T Bank had had a balance of $33,218.15. The Muni Now account at Hanover Bank, as of April 30th, had $333,423.10. Interest earned for the month was $981.27 at an annual percentage yield of 3.56%. The project deposit account earned interest of $2.61 for the month, and there was a bank charge of $22. The month-end balance was $31,730.91. Revenues for the month of April included interest earnings of $989.76 and had an administrative fee of $2,500. Expenses for the month of April totaled $19,013.66. For May, pardon me, the as of May 31st date, cash in the checking account at M&T Bank was $12,895.66. The Muni Now account at Hanover Bank had a balance of $334,414.23. Interest earned for the month was $991.13 at an APY of 3.56%. The project deposit account had earned interest of $2.70 for the month, and there was a bank charge of $22. Bank charges were refunded in the amount of $132, with the month-end balance resulting at $31,843.61. Revenues for May included interest earnings of $1,017.88, and expenses totaled $23,205.80.
Okay, does anybody have any questions first on the April 30th report?
No.
Does anybody have any questions with respect to the May 31st treasurer's report?
No.
Okay, that being the
No.
case, may I have a motion that will accept the report of expenses and authorize the payment of bills for April 30th, 2025 and May 31st, 2025?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have committee reports. We have no audit report this month, no report from the governance committee, and no report from the finance committee. And I don't believe we have any old business.
Correct.
If that's the case, then we'll go back up to the presentation.
Okay?
Did you bring popcorn?
This is a presentation on the Riverhead Industrial Development Agency, our agency, and some of the accomplishments that we have made over the last couple of years, as well as the impact it has on the town in terms of lessening the tax burden for many of the residents here, as well as fostering development. Next slide. We can go to the next slide. So with respect to 2023, which is the last year for which we have everything fully up to date, the IDA really ensures the long-term financial health of the town. You know, we're at a time where costs continue to rise and the government contributions, being the federal and state contributions, continue to shrink. So we must proactively explore ways to increase tax revenue without overburdening the residents. There are really only three ways to make up a deficit, and that's for government to make up a deficit, and that's to cut services. Nobody wants that to happen. Raise taxes, and we know that always goes over like a lead balloon, or increase tax revenue on non-residential parcels. So the IDA provides a strategic advantage leveraging incentives to attract businesses, create jobs, and generate significant tax revenue without using taxpayer dollars. We're a small agency, and we only have one full-time staff, that being Tracy, and a part-time financial officer. And the board is composed of 5 Riverhead residents, and we're committed to responsible development that really balances business growth with community needs. We're just as concerned as anyone else about easing the tax burden, the school district, and we want smart development within the town. That's why each project undergoes thorough scrutiny to ensure that incentives are justified and that the town and the school district ultimately benefit. Rather than viewing incentives as a loss, we want the public to understand that the IDA incentives are a strategic investment in our town's future. Without them, Riverhead risks losing out to other municipalities that are aggressively courting the same developers. Riverhead's foresight in establishing its own IDA has given Riverhead a competitive edge in a landscape where municipalities across Long Island and beyond are vying for the same economic opportunities. Next slide. In 2023, there were 21 pilot projects or parcels. Now, there are over 16,500 parcels of property in the town of Riverhead, and the IDA only has projects on 21 out of the 16,500 parcels. So as you can see, in terms of impact on an enormous amount of Riverhead parcels, we simply don't have it. It's a very, very tiny percentage of the parcels in Riverhead do we have IDA projects. Next slide. So one of the things we should know is that we are competing with 100 other municipalities for the same developers to accomplish the same thing, which is really to stabilize our tax base. These investments not only benefit the town, but provide long-term financial gain. On the 21 parcels that we had a pilot program on, before the IDA's involvement, the taxes that were collected was $720,000 on those 21 parcels. In 2023, the town collected $2,932,000 on the same parcels. There was an increase in the tax base of $2.2 million on these projects after the IDA was involved than what was being collected before the development on these parcels. Now, that, given the way the taxes work in the town, that equates to over $1.1 million in tax revenue to the school from the IDA projects. And prior to the IDA projects, the school was getting about $420,000 out of the $720,000. So there's been almost a $700,000 increase to the school budget annually as a result of the IDA's incentives and the development on these projects. Now, I know that there's a lot of confusion concerning the term exemption, and we get that routinely when we have public hearings. A true exemption usually lowers the taxable value, but in Riverhead's case, they are mostly measuring new value rather than exempting something that already exists. In other municipalities, it may occur more frequently that the tax base may be temporarily reduced to incentivize a developer, but in Riverhead, we largely have new build or very low number of projects with actual reductions. In addition to the increase in real property tax, while the projects in 2023 only claimed $504,000 in sales tax exemption on building materials and equipment, 8 of those projects reported generating $3.3 million in sales tax revenue. Part of that money comes back to the town for public safety. And 3 of the projects generated $856,000 in occupancy tax, which is used mostly for cultural tourism-related projects. Next slide. Prior to 2023, the assessment on the 21 parcels was approximately $7 million. After these projects were induced by the IDA to improve and develop, in 2023, those same parcels were assessed at over $31 million. That's an increase of almost $25 million in assessment as a result of simply the 21 projects in the year 2023, which is what we're discussing. Next slide. In 2023, or prior to 2023, these 21 parcels had approximately 39 jobs. Collectively, 39 jobs. As a result of the development and the IDA incentives in 2023, those 21 projects created 1,402 jobs for an increase of 1,362 jobs. So the employee possibilities as a result of the development is obvious. Also, a few of the projects are still in the hiring stage, so we would expect that that number will further increase as the projects get further along. Next slide. So just a couple of before and after pictures. First, on the top left, we have Summerwind and what it looked like, that parcel of land before Summerwind was developed. To the right, you can see it as it is now. Same thing with Peconic Crossing, what the property looked like over there prior to development, as opposed to what the property looks like now. Basically, on a lot of our projects, we remove blight, we add jobs, we provide housing, we improve the infrastructure, and we also improve the overall aesthetics when entering the town. And it's also become the home to several startup businesses. Next slide, thank you. Now, I know that people have voiced concerns about the impact of the IDA on the school budgets. And what we'd like to do is try and disabuse people of that thought. It has been suggested that over a 10-year period, the cost of the IDA to the school is upwards of $15 million. We're still trying to analyze where that calculation came from, but that's the calculation that the school district has used to us, as well as the local papers have used. Assuming for a moment that that $15 million over 10 years is correct, the school budgets over the last 10 years totaled $1.54 billion. So the IDA's temporary, and I say temporary, proportional impact of $15 million as compared to $1.54 billion is less than 1%. So the overall effect, temporary that it is less than 1% of the school budget. Truth be told, the IDA should not end up as the scapegoat for school budgets that are increasing at rates far beyond any impact of the IDA over the last 10 years. This also doesn't take into account, when they say $15 million, how much has been added to school budgets as a result of the development of these parcels. Many of the parcels, IDA projects, are commercial projects. They're industrial projects. They don't raise or increase the school population at all. But each of these projects brings money to the tax base, which in turn inures to the benefit of the school district. So again, the IDA's impact on the school budget is truly minimal, as opposed to the benefits received by the development of certain parcels. Next slide.
And last slide.
So, really in conclusion, and the slide sums it up, the IDA impacts very few properties. It increases the tax revenue. It increases the assessed value, and it increases jobs. Overall, the IDA remains a crucial tool for sustainable economic development, and as we move forward, we would encourage the town and people within it to continue to foster commercial growth, to strengthen our community, create jobs, and ease the tax burden on residents. That's it.
Nicely done.
Thank
Thank you, Lee. That was great.
Very good.
Okay, on new business, we have consideration of resolution 15-25, ratifying the credit card policy.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have,
Did you get Jim?
Jim?
Jim, did you vote? Oh, I can't hear
Can't
you.
hear.
Raise your hand. I think
Oh,
he
yeah.
said aye.
yeah,
Aye.
there we go.
Aye.
And next, we have consideration of Resolution 16-25, ratifying the license agreement between the town and the IDA for the space that we now occupy.
I'll make the motion.
I just want to make
Oh.
a few comments. There are still some outstanding questions about insurance coverage. We've been going back and forth and having our risk provider provide some information where we might have a conflict in the insurance. So I'm waiting on another response from the town. But outside of that, I think all the red lines were approved. And the board can vote to execute this
Conditioned upon.
subject to
right.
the insurance clarification, if you so desire.
And I know that our chairman played a major role in going back and forth with the town for the license agreement, so thank you, Jim.
I'll make the motion.
agree with
just have
Tracy.
one-
Sorry.
What?
I just had one.
I said I agree with Tracy. If they resolve the insurance stuff, we can sign.
Okay.
Just one item of clarity. On
Yeah.
the agenda, it says 16-25, but on the resolution,
Oh,
it's
it's 26.
16-26. So I
Thank you.
just want to,
Yep.
for record keeping of.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, can I have a motion with respect to Resolution 16-26, ratifying?
No,
1625.
1625.
Oh, so it's here that's wrong?
Yes.
It's, the 25 is the
25 is
year.
the
Oh,
year.
gotcha. Understood.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank
Well, we'll now take our third,
Stab it.
and I have a motion to approve Resolution 16-25, ratifying the license agreement between the town and the IDA.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Tracy, do we have an executive director's report this month?
Just a quick update on our two projects that we are reviewing amended applications for. Island Water Park, you may be aware, the preliminary approval was granted, and that allowed them to legalize the use of the indoor space for the catering hall and events. And upon issuance of a building and fire marshal permit and completion of all necessary inspections, that'll all be good, which they've already accomplished since I got this email. The go-kart track and the pickleball courts will not be issued a final approval or get any permits or COs until they get necessary okays from the New York State DEC. And the company has told me that they're pretty much settling it all with the DEC. And as soon as that's complete, within a couple weeks, according to them, they can immediately get full site plan approval and the CO. So that's where they are. This board had made a request to postpone the consideration of their amended application until all their approvals were done. So that's where we are with Island Water Park. You might have noticed at 205 Osborn that they have been back on track with the redevelopment of the development of it. They have 60% of the exterior brick and stucco done, 90% of the roof. Water and sewer line is still going, they were having some issues connecting, but that I think has been resolved also. The interior is 90% sheetrocked, ceiling frame, fire alarm and sprinkler heads starting next week, but that was back in May. Electric was 80% complete, plumbing, et cetera. So they're working on the construction and trying to get back on the timeline. As far as their application is concerned, we're still tweaking their insurance, making sure that I have the correct insurance coverage for all their contractors, et cetera. But it's pretty much, they've been responsive, and hopefully we can consider their amended application at the next meeting as well.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement that the amended applications for both 205 and for Island Water should wait until everything is, they have their approvals and that we're satisfied with all the requirements that we need before we take a vote on an amended application.
Yes,
I agree.
I agree.
And during the last board meeting, Board Member Pipchinsky asked me who the outstanding pilots were, the late pilots were, and it was confirmed it was 400 Berman and Island Water Park, who paid, and they also paid their late fees. I have copies of their invoices if you want to see them. And they were paid January 28th and January 31st.
So about 3 weeks late.
Yeah,
But everybody's now current.
everybody's current, yes. And that completes my report. I think, yes.
Okay, does anybody have any other new business at all?
Not that I'm aware.
Hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
5:38 PM.
Thank you.